Who exactly was the lonely, leather-clad wayfarer of yore? Sit back and enjoy this week's Mystery Files Debrief. I'm Shane, and that's Ryan.
And in each episode of Mystery Files Debrief, we'll revisit all the wild cases, answer your questions, and discuss your theories.
And this week we're talking about the Leatherman.
That's right, he's a very strange dude, kind of like you.
This guy's right up my alley. I identify with this guy. I think if I lived back in the day, I might be a Leatherman.
I think you'd probably be in prison.
What?
Okay, well, let's get into those theories, but first, a word from our sponsor.
What in the world? Have you seen this email that Steven just sent out?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. This guy is a lunatic.
It's weird. He should have used Grammarly Go, our sponsor for this episode.
You know, you would think as the CEO of this company, he'd be aware of his tone. Like, he wrote, "Love Steven" at the end of the email.
Right, love Steven. That's
an odd thing to do.
A lot of purple heart emojis. This guy's out of his mind.
Oh, what's up, Steven?
Oh. Steven. You know, I used to be just like him. I too was signing work emails with "Love Shane" and having to involve HR. But you know what got me out of that pickle? A product like Grammarly Go, which offers personalized generative AI assistance. Grammarly Go keeps me focused, keeps my tone in check, and my projects moving forward. And I can personalize it to write in my immaculate voice by altering the tone and formality settings. For example, say I want to write a professional, emphasis on professional, email to one Steven Lim. I can choose to be formal and direct and ask Grammarly Go to help me unlock my creative juices, or I can start with my own words and ask for help later with rewriting suggestions. Dear Steven, you need to work on your tone. Sincerely, Shane. Now, the old me would think, hey, that's quick and to the point. But let's see how Grammarly Go can help. I select my text, I tell Grammarly Go how I want to sound, and it offers me suggestions and alternate versions to consider. Now, I've been a long-time user of Grammarly, big fan, and I've been very satisfied with Grammarly Go. So, go! Sign up at Grammarly.com/Watcher05 and get 20% off Grammarly Premium. And send.
Who are you talking to?
The people. There's cameras here.
Oh.
Back to the show. Well, okay, now we got a lot of question marks surrounding our leather-clad friend.
As one would expect about a guy who wears only leather.
Okay, our first theory is from Laura Chisnall. I can't believe grave robbing wasn't a theory. They could have dug him up, removed his body in the night to a location to remove the suit at their own leisure, and disposed of the body in another pauper's grave. His moniker was known around the area, so he could have potentially been targeted. The nails could have been what was left from when the coffin was initially sealed. I mean, sure. I guess half the mystery is that he magically disappeared, right?
I suppose, right? Yeah. It's just occurring to me now.
What?
I do not remember a lot from this case.
Well, here's a and I actually think we should leave this in because I spent 5 years on Unsolved never remembering anything that we talked about. And every time we would shoot a postmortem, I'd always be like, yeah. So now you're in the interesting position of not remembering anything that I said to you.
But then I would have then pull up a phone and show you the clip in question.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to do that for you because this is tough love. What do you think about this? You think someone stole the body? I would. I'd steal a Leatherman.
I don't think so. I don't know if when he was buried, people knew him well enough.
Yeah.
Like people knew of him. You know, that's a good point, actually. How did you miss that?
What?
Because like if it's like body's not there, what happened to the body? The first thing would be, well, maybe somebody took the body.
Grave robbing, I feel like, and correct me if you disagree, I generally think grave robbing was done to take people's valuables that they were buried with. And I don't assume he was buried with any valuables?
Well, I mean, he was valuable. He was one of one.
Yeah, but what are you gonna do with that?
Well, one of your theories was that guy putting him on display, right?
No, it was not his body.
It was not his body. I don't think it was his coat either. I think it was made up from my recollection, but.
Anyway, I see no value in robbing that man's grave.
I mean, there's
Because
some
then
value.
you've got a Leatherman, but what are you gonna do? You're gonna be like, hey, I dug up the body. You wanna see it? This is I have a thing that I've illegally done. Next theory. This is from Lil Carry on Bird. I was confused about the theory 1 because you guys kept bringing up the coffin still being there, so I looked it up. The original coffin was gone, so they took the nails and some dirt from the original burial site and put it in a new pine coffin. Plus, you mentioned he had lupus, which leads to bone loss. Maybe that plus the acidity in the soil disintegrated his bones completely. We did look this up after, because I was confused about the coffin as well, and I should have just, I don't know. But yeah, they did.
He was looking up on his phone while he was presenting, and I thought that was pretty amateur.
Yeah, it was.
To be honest.
I'm an amateur. Yeah, they had like a makeshift fake coffin that they made to just rebury it, basically. I don't know that the acidity in soil can fully disintegrate a body within a matter of years. I don't think that's...
Yeah, I think there's like, you need like acid or something to get rid of bones, according to Breaking Bad.
Yeah, and even that, you'd have sort of some goo left.
You'd have
over,
some leftover remnants
Right.
to prove, hey, these bones were dipped in acid.
Yeah, it's not like in Roger Rabbit when they dipped the shoe. Remember that?
I do.
Did that freak you out as a kid?
But you know what does freak me out?
What?
Have you heard of this, people burying themselves in wicker coffins?
No.
I don't know what that's about, but apparently people are, that's
Maybe
a thing.
just for the worms? For
I guess
easier
it's
access?
because like, maybe the coffin will then disintegrate,
Yeah.
and it's like better.
I don't like the idea of, I mean, this is relevant. The thought of a casket where you're just like in there, surrounded by like pillows, weird silky pillows.
That sounds kind of good.
I don't want it.
I would have thought because obviously you're a huge weirdo, and I thought you would
Yeah.
have enjoyed that because you would have enjoyed the possibility of someone going, hey, let's exhume Shane Madej's body. Let's see how big that skeleton is, because it's probably going to be fucking
I want
huge.
the little wormies to eat.
But then they could open the body, and you know what the best part would be is maybe you're not fully decomposed, so like there's still some of you left, so it's like that really gross like middle area
don't
where
want
there's
that.
like
I don't want
exposed bone, but then not, like a zombie,
I don't want it.
like in Hocus Pocus.
When it rains and you're walking out on the sidewalk, you see a little worm wiggling around, I get so happy. So I want to be a nice little buffet for those guys.
Speaking of buffet, you used to eat worms.
I've eaten one worm in my life.
It's enough. It's enough.
It was on a dare, you do what you can. All right, let's get into some questions.
From Patreon, for the debrief, if you could be known as any kind of blank man, what would it be?
I'm a noodle man, that's already there. It's baked in.
I would probably be Popcorn Man.
You'd be popcorn man.
Or Theme Park Man. Theme Park Man would be good.
Yeah,
I prefer that over Disney adult. I resent the term Disney adult for someone like me because I'm not just a Disney theme park adult. I'm a theme park adult. I went on a roller coaster in Seguin, Texas. It was a good Woody. It was a switchback.
You're a Disney adult.
I'm Theme Park Man.
Next question is from YouTube. So Rudolph Mossy dedicated his life to walking the path of all the places his ex-wife lived, which I find pretty romantic. But anyways, what route would you guys walk if you were bound to one general area for the rest of your lives?
You gotta move on, man. That's the saddest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, he was a sad guy.
Walking every path that your wife walked?
Seems like it. Yeah.
Wait, is that like very holistic? Like everything? Like,
It's probably, he's a weird guy, okay? He's a really weird guy in a time when, nowadays, if you're a weird guy, you can have a hit YouTube show, Back then, I don't think there was a lot of purchase for weird guys.
So you think
out
if there
there
was no internet, you'd be walking the path of Sarah's every step?
I think so.
But,
And she grew up in Connecticut, so I'd probably be same area, same general area. Ryan, next question.
YouTube, did Ryan know about the Leatherman before this episode was shot? Very, very, very sparingly. I've said this in the other debrief, but to start this show off, I had made like a list of I want to say 15 topics that I thought would be good topics to cover for our first season. And then I kind of just let our researcher go through them to see which ones would have enough for an episode, and then Shane picked from that list. I think this was on the original list. So all those topics I had like a baseline level of knowledge about, like the one-liner. I knew there was a guy who was covered in leather. No one knew who he was. No one knew where he was buried, etc.
They should have called him the Leather Daddy. I also knew a bit about him because I remember him turning up when we were researching the Johnny Appleseed episode of Ruining History back in the day. Similarly enigmatic man. I love weirdos. Next question from Aaron. The Leatherman was ahead of his time in terms of building a capsule. Do you say capsule? Capsule.
You say
capsule?
Who, you Michael Caine?
Capsule wardrobe. If you had to wear the same exact outfit every day for the rest of your life, what would it be? That would be very sad for me. I don't think I would. God, we have to answer the question. I don't know.
I would, if it was acceptable socially. I don't care about fashion,
It is acceptable
which is
socially.
obvious, you know.
It is acceptable. Steve Jobs did it.
Yeah, but people were like, make fun of him for that, you know? It always looks like he just got off the slopes.
My brother did it for like a year.
Well, your brother's a weird guy, and I respect it.
Yeah, he wore like jeans and a blue shirt.
My dream is to have a closet that has like 3 white tees in it.
I would wear a jumpsuit probably, or a nice work jacket because I already have like 5 of them. A nice French work jacket.
Michael Myers outfit, I could wear that every day.
This is sort of a work jacket. It's not a heavy duty one, but it
wear
is
the
a
jumpsuit.
semi-shade.
Like a white tee and jeans, that's probably my favorite feel there. But if I could wear a hat or a beanie of some
What
sort.
about overalls? And no shirt underneath.
It sounds like maximum chafage. I'd have to really.
No, there'd be none.
How?
Oh no, there probably would be.
I'd have to.
Now that I think
unless
about it.
I wore it every day, my nipples would get conditioned for the terrain.
Yeah, you're right.
I have very sensitive nipples.
A good segue here. This one's from YouTube. At Shane, exactly how sweaty did that leather fit get by the end of the shoot?
Oh, quite.
Quite. It was a real trial. It tested my endurance.
Oh,
I
it
can tell you
really
that.
was. I have a picture of him lying down. That's very funny.
I thought it would be fun.
I think your theory was heat rises, so therefore lying on the ground would be cooler.
Yeah. We wanted to have a fun little thing for every episode.
Yeah.
You know, for the meteor, we had the Tunguska.
Yeah. We wanted to have a fun prop every
A fun
episode.
prop, some kind of fun.
My prop
trying.
was Carter.
I was like, well, we got to get me some leather head to toe.
Yeah.
And by the way, always nice to see Carter.
Always nice to see Carter. You know what I noticed on the Leatherman episode? You don't sweat often.
I don't sweat a ton.
But in this episode, you were, because the leather was like one piece essentially.
Yeah, it was
You
warm.
were like a silo of
It
sweat.
was really warm. It was uncomfortable.
I imagine they unzipped you and
Well,
it was just like the blood coming out of the elevator in The Shining, except it was sweat.
Yeah.
Just releasing from your zipper.
I basically just like unzipped it a little bit and it all just went and just like slid right off of me.
They squeezed you out like
Yeah.
a sausage out of a casing.
I looked like Ace Ventura in When Nature Calls after he comes out of the rhino. I would say that about does it for this week's debrief. We want to thank you all for all your wonderful questions and theories.
And also make sure you guys tune in Friday for a real creepy one, The Sky Trumpets. It's actually my favorite episode of the season, which doesn't mean skip the finale.
No, you gotta watch that. And for a chance to be featured on next week's debrief, be sure to leave your theories and questions in the comments of the episode or head over to patreon.com/watcher to see the episodes, brace yourself, a whole week early and get an even better chance of having your question picked.
That sounds great.
That sounds great.
We'll see you guys next week, and I'll see you, my colleague,
Coworker, peer,
you know, office mate. No, that's too close. It's too chummy. Dude I work with. I'll see you
Dude
next.
is a little friendly.
I'll see you, guy I work with.
I will see you next week.
Guy I work with.
You ever heard a train break? Freight trains take quite a long to break.